What's going on? It is Jason. Woo woo. We are live in full effect. Arigato, that's a mighty good Coupec. Yeah. I'm excited to be here tonight. Right before I got on this live, I got a call from a homie. He was just checking in on me, and it was kind of out of the blue for me, so it felt really nice to actually get that phone call and just be able to chop it up for a second. And it just reminded me it's okay to like settle down, because I had my son here. He was kind of helping me set up, and I was feeling a little flustered with him because he's like getting into things and things weren't going the way that I thought they should go. And then all of a sudden Joseph called me, and it was just like, hey, oh no, wait a minute. Like, it's okay to just chill, and everything's gonna work out the way that it works out. So yeah, it was a good phone call, and it was a good reminder. So with that being said, I am going to look and make sure that my audio is okay, because I have been known to jack up my audio, which is silly, especially on these lives. So I want to make sure that my audio is legit. Let me just hop into YouTube real quick, and then I'll go to my channel. Your channel, YouTube Studio. And I'll just go to my channel here. Sorry about that. Oh, here we are. And then I'll go to my channel. Sounds good. Your channel, YouTube Studio. What's going on? Ye and the gang? Sorry about that. All is well. All right, channel, the audio sounds good. So far, I'm winning. Yeah, ye and the gang, man. Appreciate you stopping by, dropping a comment in there. I appreciate that. That's awesome. And if I don't know, just go ahead and let me know where I know you from, or if I don't know you, just a follower of the channel. Thank you so much, and ask me anything, man. I'm an open book. I'm glad to share whatever I need to share with all of you, because this is what I love doing. I love creating. I love trying to build a community of people and just take you guys along for an adventure into my crazy life, into the world. So let me just say, ask me anything. I am a open book. There we go. Boom. Yeah. All right. So this week, man, this week was crazy. Here's a couple things. First, I wanted to open up with talking about grace. So, as a lot of you may know, and if you don't know, my name is Jason. Me and my beautiful life, me and my beautiful wife and my family, we moved here in 2021 from Alaska here to Arizona. We live in Arizona now. We love this place. It took me a while to start building a community here. See, back in Alaska, I had my recovery community, I had my church community, so I was well plugged in. But when we moved here, we didn't have that. So it took us a minute. Well, we found a community. It's a beautiful community at Sun Valley Community Church. That's the church I attend to. But then also, I am also a leader within the Celebrate Recovery program that they have at Sun Valley, which is an amazing community of people that just love on each other, especially with those that may be struggling to, find a purpose or find identity, or just wandering in the woods and don't really know which direction they're going because they're just lost. And for me, I didn't start believing in God until like 2017. I always knew there was a divine power, this is before I became a Christian. There was something. I just didn't understand that it was God. Now that I have a better understanding, one of the most important things I think in my relationship with God is understanding grace. And a lot of times we as individuals are so focused on truth and grace. Like Jesus is the only one I think that was able to balance both truth and grace. And I try to take a swing at it, but a lot of times I fall short. So for that, I mean, it's tough. And a lot of times my brain wants to go to more truth than grace. But here lately, I've been just living in the abundance of grace. Grace from other people, grace for those that I connect with. And it's just a super amazing and powerful thing when you operate with grace and you receive grace from other people. And so when I was talking about Joseph calling me a little bit ago, one of the things that, made me feel good is being a leader in Celebrate Recovery, I do a lot of outreach because that's part of my service. My service commitment is serving others. And so I'm always constantly, there's people that I sponsor and I check in with my sponsees and I'm checking in, making sure people are okay. And then we have newcomers that come to Celebrate Recovery and I'm constantly in rotation checking in with them and building that community and letting people know that, hey man, we see you, we love you, we don't have to know you to love you, like it's okay, and we're gonna love on you until you're able to love yourself. And so I'm constantly in that mindset, and I've been in that mindset for a minute, and so it felt really good when, Joseph called me and just said, hey man, I've been thinking of you. And wow, that just made me like little goosebumps right now. That just made me feel awesome that he called and said that, and especially when I was feeling a little frustrated. So one of those, what I would call, God shots. God's always got my back. He's looking out for me. And so I appreciate that. So Joseph, thank you so much for calling. And man, I love grace. I love having the ability to receive it and be open to receiving it, but also showing it to other people, especially like my son, who was just excited about helping me set up my system to go live. And he's excited about it. He kind of nerds out on it like I do. So, which I should appreciate that more, that he's excited about setting up for me to do my videos, as he would call it, and pour into that and not get frustrated with them. But it's hard to do sometimes, man. Yeah, love you too, dude. I love you, man. Appreciate you. All right, so this week has been a crazy week, this past week, and we did this really cool, and I think I'll go share some behind the scenes. We did a shoot with one of our clients who's a well-known general contractor here in Arizona, probably one of the best to do it. And they're our client, and they had this really neat opportunity they're demoing this area, they call it Formation 17. They're demoing it, and they're doing this broker event. So they're tearing this facility and these buildings down. There's like 7 buildings. There used to be office space. They're tearing them down, and then they're putting up industrial facilities, and it's really cool. They're a great contractor. They're an awesome client. They are an amazing group of people that are super creative, and they allow us, because we do a lot of their marketing for them, we do a lot of their video and their content. They allow us to have freedom to get creative with them. It's like a really cool partnership. So with that being said, they did this broker event where they're doing a golf event where they're hitting golf balls into the building, they waited to demolish two of the buildings that were standing, and they put these stickers with numbers on them throughout the windows, because these things had massive windows, and they put them on there. And then they played an event. The event was to hit the golf ball into one of the numbers, and you get 6 tries, and you add up your score based on, hitting those windows. You had to actually shatter the window for the points to count. And they were doing that, and it was a really cool event, and it was fun, and it was creative. And what the intent of it was to bring in brokers to see the building, what they're going to do with that building, and because they have to, the owners have to rent it out to some tenants. And what a creative way to build some buzz with getting brokers to come and be like, oh, that was such a fun event that we got to hit some golf balls into the building, break some glass, and then get some cool prizes along the way. So I might share a little bit of the behind the scenes of stuff that I caught from that, shot from that with you guys. But yeah, it was a fun week. A lot of groundbreakings and ribbon cuttings this past week. So yeah, I love what I do, man. I love to have the opportunity to get out, tell stories from our clients, and then, be able to basically get paid and support my family doing it. And that just warms my heart. And that is another great reminder that, man, I love what I get to do. And sometimes you get complacent and frustrated, even at work, even when you love what you do. Sometimes it gets a little frustrating. And then it's a constant reminder that, man, I am too blessed to be stressed and too grateful to be hateful, and it's okay. At the end of the day, it's all good. I'm going to have my frustrations. That's totally fine. I'm entitled to get frustrated. It's just I'm not entitled to be a jerk to anybody, which on occasion sometimes I can be. So, but yeah, it was a cool week. And then some sad stuff happened with the weather. We've been getting hit with lots of rain the past several days, and there's been some serious flooding here that has took some lives, which is really tragic. And that's another reminder that, man, life has shifts and changes, and you 1 minute you could be, I remember, so here's the thing. There's this area of Arizona called Globe, Arizona, right outside of Miami, Arizona, which is a funny thing. And we had to go, and I don't mean to laugh and make light of the situation that happened. It's just sometimes I do that when I get awkward. But we're driving out to one of our shoots, which is in San Carlos, Arizona. They were doing a beam signing. And then so 2 days ago, we had to drive through Globe, Arizona, and we're driving through. I was like, man, this is kind of a cool little town. It's a mining community, was heavily based on mining. That's probably how the town even, came into fruition. And so it was kind of neat there. They had some cool graffiti. We snapped some photos, stopped, looked around, ate a really dope burrito there, had a really nice burrito. And then the next day, we did the event, we came back, so we drove through there twice, and on the way back, stopped again, took some pictures. And then the next day, the actual following day, the place was a disaster from flooding. The flood came through, and just with all the heavy downpour, it just demolished that place. And, there were some lives lost there, which is sad and terrible. And it's like, holy cow, man, it just, and I was like, man, I was telling my wife, I was like, man, we were just there yesterday, when this was all happening. I was like, man, that is crazy. And I was talking to my boy Spencer, because it was me and him that went and did the shoot. And it was just like, man, he sent me some information on it. I was like, that is crazy. But so my thoughts and my prayers go out those that were impacted by the heavy downpour. And here's another thought that happened to me that I'm kind of unpacking right now is that I had car problems 2 days ago. My car has been acting up, had this issue where I had to change the spark plugs, got that fixed, and then here, during this heavy downpour, I'm having car problems. And my car is like literally shaking when I hit 40 miles per hour. It's like violently shaking, and I'm just like, man, this is not a good day to have car issues. And I'm just getting really frustrated and upset, and I'm sitting here having to deal with this, and then it's nothing compared to actually thinking about. I mean, it sucks to have car problems. I don't want to make light, because having car issues just blows. And then so we took it to the shop. They're like, it's going to be like $4,000 to get the thing fixed. It needs all these things. And then I'm just like, this is not good timing. It sucks. Not that any time having car problems is a good time, but man, and then the rain's happening, and it's just like, I need a vehicle for the type of work that I do and the amount that we travel. It's just really important to have a well-working vehicle. And I don't want a new car now. Like, I enjoy having no car payment. We have a Mazda CX-5, no car payments. That's a good place to be in, where I'm not dealing with any kind of car payments or anything like that. So it's like, we're trying to make this car last. It's just like, and then you get hit with the $4,000 bill, and it's just like, is it worth it? Because the car is only probably worth $10,000 or $11,000 as is. And yeah, anyway, here I'm on a soapbox. I don't mean to be complaining, but the funny thing is, I have an awesome father-in-law who told me, get your car out of the shop. We're going to find an alternative way to get it fixed where you're not dumping $4,000 into the thing. And so did that, and then come to find out, it only cost us like $600 and something to fix. And we're back up and running, and God is good. And there I was complaining and being frustrated, and then I get the news like there's actually people losing their lives. And I was like, man, I'm so trivial to even be concerned with car issues when it's all going to work out. And just put my faith in being kind to others, not being a jerk, because I kind of got snappy with my wife, and just like chill out and just give it to God, pray, and He's going to come through. And if He doesn't, there's a reason why, and really need to like understand that and pour into it and figure those kind of things out. But just don't be jerk to other people is basically the moral of the story. And if you think you got big problems, man, there is things happening that people are having a lot worse of a time than you are, probably guaranteed. So, but yeah, so here I am. That was a mouthful. I didn't mean to ramble like that. I did a video on rambling. I have been known to ramble sometimes, so I gotta like reel it in. So I do apologize. For those that may be new or tuning in to this video, like I said, my name's Jason. Every Sunday I go live, and I like to share the back end of my YouTube with you guys just to see how the channel's doing, because it's awesome. You're part of the channel. Why not share this with you guys? Because I think it's kind of fun to go in and dive into the numbers and just see. And then what I like to do is compare it to the previous week, just so you get a good idea of how the channel is progressing. For as long as I can, as long as I'm healthy and okay, I'm gonna do this every Sunday. I'm gonna go live, share, even if I get to monetize, even share all that information with you guys. I got nothing to hide. So I'll be down to do that as well. I do have a goal to try to hit 1,000 subscribers before the end of this year. So December 31st, 2025 is my deadline. But if I don't hit it, it's all good. I'm gonna still create content because I just love doing this, and I love posting what I create and sharing a little bit of my craziness to the world, and it's awesome. So, but it is a goal, and I just want to feel good in the deep part of my heart to hit that goal. It just feel really nice. So that is what I'm shooting for. Yeah, you're right. It is a place to ramble, Joseph. It is a super. This is long form content. Doing it here on a live. Yeah, so I should take it easy on myself, not beat myself up for rambling. I just want to respect your guys' time. Get to the point of things, not go on tangents. But yeah, I guess it's okay though. Every once in a while, I got to cut myself some slack. But yeah, I like to go live. So I do have a little bit of a setup here. I have a talking head cam, and I'll talk about that a little bit right now. I am really falling in love with shooting on a 50 mil now. So I got a 50 mil, so the camera is quite a ways away from me. Typically I'm shooting on a 24 to 70, and I have the camera to where I'm able to, it's an arm reach away, but because I can get punch out. But now I got the 50 on, and I want to make sure I got the composition decent. But man, I just love the way the 50 is looking these days. It's just, I forgot, I have this prime 50, and it's not the most glamorous 50 millimeter lens, but it's a 1.8, and it just has a really nice compression that I love, with the bokeh behind me. It's just a really awesome lens. I love it, and I think it looks nice, and it definitely has this isolation effect with me here that just looks really good. So I'm shooting on a 50, but I got my talking head cam there, and I do have some issues with my talking head cam. I do have a top handle because it is FX3, and my audio top handle is broken. I'm not getting good audio in the top handle right now, and I don't know what's happening with it. I don't know if something happened where it shorted out on me, but my audio is not sounding great from it, and I'm running into some problems because it has two out inputs, and one of them sounds decent, the other one sounds really broken, and it's a hardware thing versus anything internal. But anyway, that's a different story. But yeah, that's my setup. I have a talking head cam there. I have my MacBook here that, there I am watching myself talk to you guys. So I have the MacBook here. This is how we're going to dive into the analytics. I'm going to walk through my channel with you guys so you're seeing exactly what I'm seeing. And with that being said, I have not looked at my analytics since the previous week, so this is all going to be new to me, and I'm going to share what the channel's been doing and then compare it to the previous week. So with that being said, let's go ahead and dive into it. All right, drinking coffee right now at 8 o'clock Arizona time. I drink coffee almost 24/7, to be quite honest. It does affect my sleep. I shouldn't say it doesn't, because it does. If I drink way too much, especially like espresso closer to the evening, especially like Thursday nights when I have my recovery meeting, there is nothing like a cup of recovery coffee. That burnt, strong, yeah, it is. If anybody knows exactly what I'm talking about, going to like AA meetings or, CR meetings or NA meetings, drinking that cup of coffee from those meetings, it's potent. We're a bunch of addicts, alcoholics, and that is some strong coffee. When I drink that on Thursday night and I have to come home after my meeting, which is usually roughly late, I'm wired. Like I have a very hard time falling asleep on Thursday nights, after, and I tell myself I'm only limiting myself to 1 cup, but I end up having 4 or 5, and yeah, anyway, I digress. Again, I'm rambling again. right, let's go ahead and dive into YouTube. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up YouTube, and then so I'll hop in here, go picture in picture, bring myself to the bottom. Yeah, blow that up, boom. All right, let's see here. I want to go into YouTube Studio, and then go into analytics. Here we are. All right, here is what I call the top 3 for me. This is my views, my watch hours, and my subscribers. This is what my channel's done in the last 28 days. I've gotten 27,000 views, 140 watch hours, and 18 new subscribers. Woo! Thank you guys for coming along with me on this journey, especially if you're new and you're a new subscriber. You guys are awesome. So, got 18 of you in the past 28 days. That is freaking fantastic. But what I like to do is just compare it, breaking things down week by week. So, I'm gonna go this week. So I go up here and I customize it, and then I go from this day to this day, and I hit apply, and then boom, this is what the channel's done in the this last week. I've gotten 5,000 views, 29 watch hours, and 5 new subscribers. Yeah! So here lately, the last few weeks, there's been an uptick in both views and watch hours. Now it's kind of leveled back down. I think I was getting almost 11,000 views last couple weeks. Like an insane amount of watch hours and views for me, for my channel, because this is all small channel vibes. You know, I'm not a big channel. I mean, I got 793 subscribers. So very, very small channel vibes, but I've gotten an uptick the last couple weeks where I've gotten, you know, almost 12,000 views. But now this is about average to what I'm typically doing each week. I'm about 4,000 to 5,000 views, 20 to 30 watch hours, and anywhere from 1 to 5 subscribers is pretty standard to what I typically get each week. So yeah, stoked, and I'm excited. Now what I like to do is go ahead and dive into comparing this week to the previous week, just to see, you know, has there been any growth? And look, there has been times where I've lost subscribers, true, and like there's been a decline in views and watch hours, and I've had negative subscribers. So yeah, so just so putting that out there, you're gonna have that with any kind of growth of your channel. But all right, I'm gonna go into advanced mode up here, and then what I like to do is go add comparison up top here. Go ahead and add comparison, and then I go period over period, and I hit apply. So everything in the blue is this week, everything in purple is the previous week. Like I said, the last several weeks I've been really an uptick in my views. So the previous week I got almost 6,600 views. This week 45,000 views. So yeah, I'm about to leveling back down. So that's where we're at with views. And again, we're just going through the top 3: views, watch hours, and subscribers. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and go to watch hours. So this week I got 29.8. Previous week I got 25, which is awesome. So yeah, my uptick in watch hours is a lot more now. So that's cool. Not a lot more, but more than the previous week, which is awesome. So 29 versus 25. All right, let's go ahead and look at subscribers. So, boom. All right. This week got 5. Previous week I got 4. So one more than the previous week, which is awesome. Thank you guys so much. Greatly appreciate having you guys come along with me on this adventure that I'm on. So, all right, here we are. That's it. That's what I typically look at, the top 3 in the comparison mode. But I also kind of geek out on a couple other things that I like to look at. So what I'll do is I'll remove comparison up here, and then I'll just go over some fun stuff that I like to look at in the breakdown. I like going to geography just to see where people are tuning in from, which is fun. United States on top, which United States is typically on top, but there's been some times where other countries have taken the top spot from the United States, which is, I find super motivating. Not that, I love the United States, born and raised in America, so definitely, love my United States, but man, it's fun seeing other, countries tuning in to my content, which is super motivating and inspiring. So second place is Indonesia, and then third is India. Then we got Canada, Turkey, United Kingdom, Australia, Yemen, Argentina, Malaysia, New Zealand, South Africa, Philippines, Brazil, Algeria, Uzbekistan, Pakistan, Iraq, and Thailand. Yeah! Like I said, man, worldwide content being viewed all over the place, which is so fun. It is so fun. So for all those other countries tuning in, welcome. Thanks for tuning into my content. I appreciate you guys. All right. Now, I like to go over to viewer age and then look at, the breakdown. So here we have 18 to 24-year-olds. That's 13% of the pie. Biggest piece of the pie goes to 25 to 34-year-olds. And then 35 to 44-year-olds. And then 45 to 54. And then 55 to 64. And then 65 to higher. It's 2%, which is awesome. I'll tell you a funny story about age, which I didn't really take into account. So here's a story. This is kind of a cool story. I have this gentleman who follows my channel. He's been on it, man. He's been a huge supporter. He's been following me for a while, and I wanted to show the dude some love and buy him a coffee for just being one of those guys who always shows up, and supports the channel, and I just was like showing some appreciation, giving some flowers, I guess you could call it. And I was like, hey man, I greatly appreciate you tuning into my channel. I want to show you some love. Let me buy you a coffee. And so, waited for him to respond back, and he was like, yo, thank you so much for wanting to buy my coffee, but I'm only like 12 or something. I was like, what? I totally just didn't equate, that people from all different age brackets could be tuning in and watching my content. So I have to be mindful of that at times. But yeah, I just found that super awesome. And I was like, oh man, cool. Yeah. I mean, is there anything else I could do? And, but anyway, it was a lot of fun. That I've had somebody of that age tuning in and watching my stuff. And so, yeah, I thought I would share that with you guys. Fun little story. All right, let's look at gender, typically male. So, yeah, here we are, 75%. This is pretty average to what, the ratio is. Anywhere from 70 to 80% tends to be male viewership. Female viewership, so but then there's this chunk that's unspecific, so which is interesting. And then we go to, let's go into I would say device type, but I guarantee you it's always going to be mobile phone top spot. But the operating system, now, for a while, it's been neck and neck between Android and Apple. And Apple did take the top spot a few times. I've been kind of hoping that Apple would take the top spot again, but man, not throwing shade to my Android users, but they're like, no, Android's been holding strong for like 7 weeks now, 7 to 8 weeks. And who's gonna be on top now? Let's go. Android again. Android's on top. Yeah, and by a lot too. So like by a thousand or so more. So here we are, which is fine. Which makes me think, I wonder if it's because, you know, I don't know. I don't know why that seems to be the case. My brain goes, it's terrible because I live in a world where when I use the products that I use, I just assume a lot of people use the products that I use, and that's not even the case. And it's so weird to me to think that way because there's such a bigger world out there than my little brain at times can comprehend. And just to have that mindset is just not okay. So I enjoy whatever device you're watching from. That's awesome, whether it's an Android or Apple. It's all good. And I just like the competition. I try to make competition out of things sometimes just to make it a little bit more entertaining, I would say. So there we are. That's the gist of it. What we can do now is just do a real quick recap. So the top 3 of the views, 4.9 thousand views, 29.8 watch hours, and 5. Oh no, I lost my video feed. Hold on. Oh boy. All right, stand by. Here's the thing. So, you know, when you tell yourself, and this is a prime example of, Jason, just go ahead and change the battery. I have these conversations with myself all the time. I knew the battery was at like 58%, and I was like, you know, I should put a freshie in. We call new batteries freshies. I was like, I should put a freshie in just so I don't have that happen to where I lose my video feed. So got a freshie in now and I'm ready to go. Where was I? Oh, doing a recap. So 5,000 views, 29 watch hours, and 5 new subscribers. Whoa. Let's take a look at the top content of this week. Again, Christmas lights, turkey bites. That thing is just, this is my #1 video. It is insanely amount of views that just baffles me. So let's take a look at it. It has 32,000 views, 246 watch hours, and it had garnered me 32 subscribers just from that one video, which has been almost a year since I've done that, because that was like almost Thanksgiving. It's almost been a year, that video. Yeah, that's awesome. It's so freaking awesome. I get excited when I see that. I did a little dance when I hit 30,000 views on this video, which I thought was fun. But anyway, what's another top one? We got stop willpower is not. Oh yeah, yeah. I did my G word because I'm walking through the alphabet in my vlogging, and so working on an H video. I got 2 ideas that are on my mind that I think will be a lot of fun. But this previous one, I did the letter G, which is I did it on God and how God has impacted my life, kind of my, walk with God at kind of a really high level, not anything too deep in the weeds, but just talking about what God's done in my life and sharing, my faith and my belief in God and how important that is to me and how it saved my life. So I've been chopping those videos up, and so I've been doing some shorts with them. Yeah, and it's getting a lot of attraction, for the most part. And people have been reaching out saying, hey, I've loved the short, giving me some amens, and people have been tuning into those. So that's a lot of fun. And that's all it is. Like me, I'm trying to share my faith with other people. I want to say like how I view things. Of course I would love everybody to believe in God and start building that relationship with Him, but that's not the case. And I just want to just be in the mindset of it's more attraction than promotion. Just share my experience. And here's another story on that. And one of the coolest things, the biggest growth that Christianity has ever had has been at times when there's been no printing press. There's no Bible was even there. It was just all sharing stories. And why can't we get back to that in this kind of form? And I think that's one of the things that's been inspiring me in my heart is that's how, that was when Christianity took off and was on fire. Was before they had any of all that technology, had no printing press, no Bibles, no nothing. And like Christianity just went pew, just for people just sharing their stories and what God has done in their life. And I'm doing that now in a sense. So I don't want to hammer faith down anybody's throat. I just want to be just open and share my experience with people and just, because it's awesome. And, it just kind of reminds me of, Amazing Grace. And I was kind of a wretch and God saved me. And I'm now in a place where I have that gratitude for what God's done in my life. And I just like to share that with other people. So I did a video on it, basically, with talking about God. But those shorts have been super popular. I've been getting quite a few views. This mouse one is still getting quite a few views. And then a couple other videos, my older stuff. And some older videos are getting a little traction. So that's fun and inspiring, to get old videos starting to pop off. That just makes me think, the channel's kind of doing this thing. It's like the little engine that could. It's like getting its momentum, and then it's going to be doo-doo, maybe take off. You never know. I'll be excited if it does. And it's already blown my mind, having one video do 30,000 views to me, it's like, I made it. Yay. Look, Mom, we did it. It's kind of feeling that I get. So, but what else? All right, I don't have anything else basically to talk. Let me go check to see if anybody left any messages. Let me just go back to here, turn that off, and then dive back into to see if anybody's dropped anything. Oh yeah, Joe Schmo, what up, Joe? Yeah, 800, man. I'm like right there. It's gonna be awesome hitting 800. I'm so close. I'm 793, man. And then it's just 200 to go before. And if I can get 200 before the end of the year, that would be dope. Realistically, I don't know if that's gonna happen, but you never know. We could get there. Like I said, that one video got me 30 subscribers, so that's pretty awesome. Yeah. Oh, I request an impression breakdown on recent videos for future live streams. Okay, man, I will do that, Joseph. Yeah, we can dive into impressions. I'm not, maybe if you could share your experience on looking at that, because I have no idea, man. Like, I don't know where to even go to look at that. So maybe if you shoot me a text or a message saying, yeah, here, go this, I'll be fully open to share all that, all the impressions and all that stuff. I think it would be fun to look at that stuff, because I think like that's a metric that a lot of people pay attention to. I believe is the impressions, I think, or is it the click through? One of those things. So yeah. All right, man. I appreciate it. That'd be awesome. So, all right. Well, that's pretty much all I got. I am, like I said, I'm too blessed to be stressed, too grateful to be hateful. Appreciate, Joseph, Joe Schmo. Joe Schmo has been rocking with me for a long time, since day one days, man, for quite some time. Mr. Joe Schmo has been a subscriber to the channel, so greatly appreciate you. Beham, he's a creator. If you're watching this video, look at his channel. The dude has awesome content. He has a beautiful family. He's a good dude. He just, I appreciate him calling me today and getting me out of my little funk that I was in, man. God just has a way of positioning people in your life to just, take care of you. So thank you for giving me a call, brother. And with that being said, man, that's all I got. I normally would just go, but my camera is way too far away because I'm shooting on the 50. So I'm just going to tip my cup to you guys, say thank you so much for tuning in tonight's live stream. We try to do this every Sunday, so come back next week. I usually try to do it around 6:30, 7:30. Sometimes I've gone later because I got things happening that happen that I need to go later. But yeah, with that being said, man, I'm internally grateful for all of you, for all the new subscribers, the old dogs that have been rocking with me for a while. Thank you guys so much. And with that, I'm going to go ahead, tip my cup to you and say, have a good night, and I will catch you on the next one. It's so weird not being able to just go ahead and trip me up a minute. All right. We'll see you guys later. I hit this button right there. Yay! Let me hit it. All right. All right. Oh, didn't.